This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Thursday, June 20th, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. About 30 to 40% of patients who undergo sinus surgery show no improvement. Purdue University professor Dr. Snehasis Mukhopadhyay is developing software powered by AI that can predict who will or will not have a successful outcome after sinus surgery. But the key, he says, is the human component combined with AI.
It is not either machine learning or human doctors, but they should work hand in hand. So in our case, doctors take the machine learning recommendation into account before recommending surgery or not.
When used as an advising tool by a doctor, the model achieved 87% accuracy in predicting which patients would benefit from surgery. Richmond Beverage Solutions announced plans today to invest nearly $45 million to expand its Richmond facility and create 65 jobs by 2027. The company, which produces extended shelf life dairy and non-dairy beverages and shake mixes for retail and food service customers, will add new equipment designed to modernize the manufacturing process. Michigan-based Priority Health, a health plan serving more than 1.3 million members, says it will acquire Fort Wayne-based Physicians Health Plan of Northern Indiana, currently serving more than 52,000 members in Indiana and Ohio. Terms of the deal are not being disclosed. The companies said the products and coverage they offer are not expected to see any significant changes. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, 1 goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
As avian flu continues to spread to dairy cows across the country, Hoosier officials say farmers are keeping a close eye on their herds, but animal testing mostly remains optional. IIB's Sarah Simcox has more.
So far, scores of dairy farm cows in 12 states have been infected with H5N1, also known as bird flu, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. The disease has also jumped to at least 3 farm workers, among the nation's first confirmed cases ever of a human getting infected with the virus. Indiana officials said the state doesn't have confirmed cases of H5N1 infections in cows or humans yet. Detecting bird flu in Indiana cows might not be as efficient as in other states, however. Hoosier dairy farmers don't have an obligation to test their cows, in part because some farmers may not want to self-report cases. Denise Darrer-Spears with the Indiana State Board of Animal Health said the agency has offered dairy producers the opportunity to be a pilot state in the federal government's voluntary herd testing program, but no producers showed interest in participating. Currently, Indiana is not enrolled in the program. Despite cases in neighboring states, Indiana currently only requires testing of lactating dairy cattle that are moving across state lines, per the requirements of the U.S. Department of Agriculture's federal order issued on April 29th. Spears noted that more than 750 tests have been run on cattle moving out of Indiana to other states since that date. Sarah Simcox, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Just 1 month after settling with a South Carolina medical spa that was selling knockoff versions of its popular diabetes and weight loss drugs, Eli Lilly and Company is going after other sellers. The Indianapolis-based company said today it was taking legal action against at least 6 additional medical spas and weight loss centers that it claimed are selling counterfeit and compounded versions of tirzepatide, the active ingredient in Lilly's diabetes treatment Mounjaro and weight loss treatment Zepbound. The company filed suits in federal district court saying patients could be harmed by the knockoff products, which in some cases have contaminated bacteria, high impurity levels, wrong colors, or a completely different chemical structure than Lilly's federally approved medicines. The CEO of the Ports of Indiana says the recently launched Indiana Container Initiative aims to fill what he calls a critical gap in the state's logistics sector. The initiative seeks to explore the development of multiple international container terminals throughout the state, including at Indiana's 3 ports and at various inland locations. Jody Peacock said when it comes to containers, Indiana has missed the boat, both literally and figuratively.
Right now in Indiana, if Indiana businesses want to access major container hubs, we have a great hub in downtown Indianapolis with the Indiana Railroad, but for the most part, the larger container hubs in the Midwest require Indiana businesses to go out of state. So they have to drive to Chicago or Columbus or other points in the Midwest. And so that adds shipping costs to anybody who's shipping or receiving goods via containers.
Peacock said the state needs to first commit to getting regulatory approval to establish the international container terminals. The voice of the IU Hoosiers, Don Fisher, is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.